inside story. Someone would have told him.
And then the extra bit is he told them to do it.
But no one would be intentionally suicidal, would they?
Not suicidal. This is my time to make a poignant impact.
Even if you are suicidal, you've fucked your own mind over.
He had very
He's the opposite of
recently
suicidal.
overthrown, we get back to the bankers, he'd overthrown the tables of the money changers in the temple.
You'd say you're the opposite of suicidal, wouldn't you, King?
No, I'm just saying Jesus.
No, you're not suicidal though, are you? You're mine.
No, you can't tell me how to
Can I
describe
tell you
myself.
the story of the money changers in the temple?
Well,
before
if you
the
feel
arrest?
suicidal, just tell me, sister,
Before
just be
the
there.
arrest
There
and
you
the
go.
bankers. Let me tell you the story.
Do not leave me with no
Because you
brother.
probably haven't read enough Bible, like I have, past my scripture
He told the
exams when
bankers
I
to go
was
fuck
very
himself,
young.
basically.
He told the banks to go fuck themselves. They were doing the money changing,
So
i.e.
he said,
So just be careful. Do
in
not
the temple.
do not insult the bankers.
In the temple, he said to the bankers, give to God what is God's, and what is it? Give to Caesar what is Caesar's, give to God.
I just clocked what Dylan's saying. They've told the story as if Jesus handed himself in to be sacrificed for all our sakes, and what he really did was
They told the
rock up
story-
and say fuck the bank, and they didn't like it.
well, I mean,
Well,
kind
both
of.
things are right. Can
They
I
made
finish
it
the
out.
story?
They made it out.
I see what you
that
mean.
Judas handed him in and betrayed him, which actually Jesus told Judas to do it.
Well, it sounds a bit underhand. I don't think he wouldn't have been fitted with morals.
But that's
to do
that's
that.
more
That wouldn't have
amazing.
fitted with morals.
That fits. If people say Jesus is the most amazing, then that fits. Because then you're such a fucking boss man. You're like, yeah, I know they're gonna fucking take me out, but you make out like you're dobbing me in, and then the people will be in uproar, and then da 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 da.
There would have been no need for him
Then I'll
to.
go down and
There would have been no
fucking
need for him to suggest it to Judas. I mean, no, Judas just betrayed
And
him for
you
the
write
money.
your name
But let me
up in the
finish. So
history
he
books and we'll
overturned. He
remember
wasn't a
you
violent man, right?
forever.
So he overturned the tables of the money changers.
Oh, I believe so.
And a lot of the news people are remembering that and talking about that now and saying, you know. we
Well, I
need more
believe
of
Jesus
that.
wasn't extremely
So he
violent.
said, you can't do this money changing in the temple. You know, that's house of God. You can't do that. And he'd never been violent before, and he overthrew the tables.
Oh,
Now,
sorry, he lost his cool.
the bankers are the Jews, right? Always have been, right? And he lost his cool.
Jesus.
And, yes. And
Well, he's probably just executing how he felt.
and
Perfect.
and they didn't like that. The Jewish bankers didn't like that. So they got together their group to arrest him, and they took him up to Caesar. And Caesar says, I can't find anything wrong with this man. They say you're the king of the Jews. And, you know, and he said, Jesus just said something about God or something. And Caesar said, well, he says, I think you're harmless. I can't see that, you know, I think they're just ranting on. And I see
Interesting.
nothing wrong with you. And you wanted to set him free, right? And then the next
Oh,
day...
that's cool.
No
or-
proof of insanity.
Exactly.
There you go.
And then... because his crime was that he called himself King of the Jews. You see, he'd said that, right? And he just meant, I'm like a good leader. You
Well,
know,
who in their right mind
Jews
would acclaim themselves to be king of someone else?
Well, he
heart,
meant
body
I
and
can
soul.
lead you out of this madness. He meant I can, you know, I can help. He meant, I mean, who we don't know if the translation was right in the Bible. They might have said that
He
to
might,
make
yeah, he
that
might not.
might be in propaganda for
Yeah,
the Bible
yeah.
He might not
translators
have
to make
said
him
that.
sound bad. He might not have said
He
it.
might have
just said,
spoken-
I'm your leader. I can lead the people or something. You
Yeah, I know how to help you.
something like that, because he did perform
Yeah,
the
he probably
miracles,
just said,
so
"I
he did
can
have
lead you."
advanced medicine. And yeah, so the Jewish bankers they ganged up on him entirely, and they went to Caesar, and they threatened something else to mess up Caesar's world or life or whatever it was. And in the end, he was just, his hands were tied. He had to do what the bankers told him. So that's just a question of like King Charles and the bankers at the WF and everything, just doing what he's told. So yeah. So that was that story.
So mind control
Jesus
yourself.
and the bankers. Jesus and the bankers. And it's the same problem now. You've got all these Zionist bankers everywhere.
But
And they're all controlling the pharmacocracy.
Jesus is probably saying to the world, look,
Warning to the world.
this is how bankers treat what's sacred.
Yes. And so he was willing to be killed on the cross, but because he
Don't forget it.
but he was rescued.
Oh, if he knew he was going to be taken down regardless,
They're racketeering.
take him down
They're
with his
racketeering.
story
They're
sorted.
racketeering in these holy places. And they're telling you they're
Oh,
perfect.
because changing money, you get profit, don't you? If you're changing some money, and say, oh, we'll give you some German marks instead of those francs, but we'll add 10%. So it's about that. It's all about profiteering. Banking is
Yeah.
Wait,
profiteering.
have you witnessed how in religious ways they don't go into the matters of the fact that Jesus was was speaking banking. They say that they only speak in terms of holy prayer. How Jesus is famous. He's
well,
not famous for banking, is he? Well, that's it. That is what was going on.
All the alternative media people have been quoting it a lot this year, saying, well, we've only got to look at what Jesus said. He overthrew the tables and he said, enough is enough, that's it.
They
I
say that
stand
every
up
year.
against this. And they're all saying, we've all got to say this now, we've got to say enough is enough.
Enough is enough.
We're done with the bankers, we're done
conquering.
with the bankers.
In a conquering way.
Yeah, we're done with the bankers, yeah. So who knows.
No, but the central bank of each country do bank.
There's one bank, the
Honourably.
Bank of International Settlements.
Well,
Dylan knows about
the
that.
people bank honourably.
Yeah.
That's
People
what I
bank
would
on
say.
it, but it doesn't exist.
And
It's
I'd
all
say-
fiat money, it's all made up, it doesn't exist.
I'd say
Monopoly.
there's lots of
It's all
nice.
monopoly money.
The banks will be helping lots of people.
Mm,
Some people helping them well.
yeah.
Like, oh, we'll give you a loan for that company because you got skills to back that up,
Mm.
and you can back up that loan with your house. Yeah, you can. Here's 20 grand or 30 grand to form your company. So banks can help people,
And you have
but
to.
on the level.
But it puts you in debt, and debt is not
But-
a great thing. Good. You don't want any debts.
But the Vatican are they're collecting money,
That's not theirs.
apparently quite a lot of money. So if we could just assume that they're collecting a lot of money.
Beyond their own flag.
I mean, I think the Vatican have got lots of streams of money coming to them, and they're
They're
claiming.
bloody rich, the Vatican.
Even they themselves admit, no, this is just good business. We tell the people all that religious nonsense, but we're just conducting good business here.
It's so complicated.
We're making a lot
I
of
don't
money.
even study it because I'm never going to understand it. I just stick
I think
to
they
the
might
simple
well be
things.
collecting a lot of money from the court.
Do you believe the Bank of England is an independent bank?
No.
Surely. With
Well,
all
the
the
Rothschilds Bank, the City of London Square Mile, right? It could be that
Well, all the
the
banks.
Rothschilds are there, that the Bank of England.
Yeah,
is
that- 'cause
controlled by-
but
it is controlled by
businessmen-
the Vatican as
businessmen, no
I
doubt,
think all the
trust the
banks.
Central London district.
I think all the banks are throwing money to the Vatican.
Well. Vatican, yeah, that's what I think. The Vatican's, to me, the Vatican is the Antichrist. I'm sorry. Vatican is the Antichrist.
And who runs the
The
Vatican?
Pope is the Antichrist. Well, I think the bankers
The-
run the
the
Vatican.
people
the Pope
that-
is just a figurehead, I think.
The groups that don't show
The
themselves in
people we
public.
don't see, they're running it.
Who don't show themselves in public.
Yeah.
They
You see,
are running it.
There's three
You
places in the
sacrifice
world
the people in
which
public.
aren't a country. They're not part of the country they're in, right? City of
So
London.
including the stars, they'd be sacrificed.
This is
Absolutely.
important.
If they think so, if they're naive enough to play the
This
game.
will tell you everything, right? Well, without knowing the details, this will tell you everything, right? City of London, 1 square mile, right, where the Bank of England is, right, that is not England. It's the City of London, not just a city, it's a country, it's a nation, right? It's a thing in itself, right? It exists just in its own thing, right?
Yeah.
For skullduggery.
A business.
Now, the Vatican is
district.
another one that exists. It's its own country. It isn't part of wherever it is, Italy, whatever. It's its own
It's just
thing.
a bank.
It's called the city, the Vatican City it's called.
International Vatican Bank.
Well, never mind that. You just got to think that the place where it is, they own that little bit and they say, no, we're
They
not.
bought the land.
What it means is they don't have to adhere to the laws of the land. They're on their own. They're the international, right, and there's one more, and that's Washington, D.C.
Right,
in
so the
America.
Vatican, the Central London District, Bank of
Right.
England,
Now,
and
those,
Washington.
Those three things are...
Those three.
Yeah, they don't
Strong
have to adhere to the laws of the land. They just do their own thing, their own banking craziness there. Now, I don't know more than
They're
that.
countries.
But it does tell you. when
Yeah,
they control
legally a
anything
country.
that-
Like a human being is a
they
country of
they
itself.
can run their banking
In
or
a way.
whatever internationally
In a way.
without answering or giving any accounts probably to the law of the land or anything to do with it or anything. They just do their thing between each other. And we know the the Vatican has always been rich in history, so we presume that that
But
it's-
surely the flag who measures the currency rate is the richest if they want.
That's. I mean,
well,
apparently
they can use any currency
City
they
of
want.
London.
They can just
So yeah,
use it up.
City of
the
London.
price of
The-
gold. Apparently, from what I've read, the price of gold is decided and controlled in London.
This is
Ooh.
it. Price of gold is the
King.
main thing.
So they're not bluffing. They are king, the City of London. in terms of gold.
Any of these banking centres, yeah, but the main Bank of International Settlements, I haven't read about them.
Yes, so
That's the biggest one. That's the
Dylan's just
international
told you
thing.
the key to it. If the City of London do measure the currency rate, they could bankrupt the Vatican, but they won't do it because there's no point.
No, they're all working
That's too
together.
savage.
No,
Yeah, they're working together, but
yes, yes. They
they're-
probably need the Vatican.
yes,
money.
no, they're working together, and bless their teamwork. However,
Yeah, all work
if
together.
if the City of London are wise, they will control the currency rate to be controlling.
But they also do
Well, they
it
do.
by declaring these
Well, they
wars,
do.
you see.
Let's go.
And they do it by wars. They do it by
No,
wars.
let's do it with richness.
They use the governments of the day to just do it by wars. That's why they're sending all this money to Ukraine and bollocks. They're controlling the whole thing through wars. And they, every 80 years or so, they like to have a big war to lose all the money, lose all the money that doesn't exist.
So do you see what I mean in terms of the gold? If the fact is, like Dylan says, they do control the currency rate, the City of London Gold Reserve, that means they are the top boss of the gold's worth from London, and it just wouldn't do them any favours to wage war on the richest banks. As long
Oh,
as
the rich,
they
the
need
richest
they
people
need
don't-
to
the
control
richest-
their money.
but the richest people, they don't go to war.
The ones that yeah, no, they won't. They don't want to. They're not suicidal enough.
Well, exactly. Or,
They're too rich.
But I mean, I think there's good people all mixed up in all of it.
Morally, you mean?
But something else I heard,
It's all
right?
madness. It's all
The-
madness.
when they wave this smoke in the churches.
Oh.
I'm going down a trajectory here. Apparently, it's made from dead children,
Probably.
murdered children.
Oh, that's too evil.
So we don't need to talk about that. But you know, if they're doing that, then there's just no
Well, you
end.
see, I never believed any of this evil satanic stuff, but lately there's been
Inhale this holy smoke.
a
Inhale
lot of
the dead
things
children.
written and found out, and a lot of these satanic practices, and they found all these paedophiles doing things to children. And the more I hear about it, and they actually are finding out, that I think, oh my God, the world's in the worst state it's ever been. It just needs bombing from a distance.
No, Mummy, no.
Just needs bombing.
No, that's
We-
too savage.
we
That's
won't
too
go into
savage.
it too much,
No, that's
but-
too savage. You're not
We
going
could
to
just
bomb.
we could just say that they're ruthlessly just.
But I
doing-
mean,
doing
you
their
know,
own thing.
one wouldn't be surprised.
No,
if
Mummy,
after people knew about it, they'd think,
You're referring
this is
to
not a good
the.
experiment. This planet isn't doing well, you know.
You're referring to the satanic.
I don't like to read about it or follow
Yeah,
it
that
because
smoke
I
is-
never believed in it.
That smoke stuff
But
is
it's used as a propaganda as well.
satanic-esque.
So how on earth have they actually gone through with it and not you know?
And they talk about the royal family being involved in
Brainwashing.
all this stuff.
Brainwashing.
No, but you're saying someone who is intelligent enough to run a bank is insane enough to burn children. I doubt.
No, the bank runners are not going to be
No.
the mastermind controllers.
I think
They're
they
just
get
running a
people
bank.
involved in strange practices, and
Well,
usually
that
they
you mean.
use sex operatives to get people in a bribery trap, so they can tell the world, or you know, it's the usual old spy
What?
trick.
So,
But I
but
think they
children,
do it with
was it?
politicians. I haven't finished it, but what they do also, apparently there's a whole new trend in paedophilia, and there's
Well, it's not a trend; it's a crime.
a trend in crime. Do you know Hugh Edwards, the,
No.
the presenter on
Probably been
No.
going on
Hugh
for-
Edwards, BBC presenter.
I don't want to
who
be mind controlled.
well, he's been now found guilty of paedophilia, and he's been reading the news for like all my life. So like there's a lot of it around, and it's all coming out.
But what would you say is paedophilia?
And it's crazy.
So you're saying you're not talking about just young boys and
I
girls.
don't study it because I don't like
but the
it. I hear
Satanists,
people
you're
talk
dealing with-
about it.
Are you
You're
talking
dealing with-
actual children or just?
Oh,
with
they
the-
definitely use children. Yes,
on the
child
at the
trafficking.
nasty level.
So what would you say someone over 18 is not a child?
Well, of course.
Right.
That's a
Okay.
fact, isn't it?
Okay. Okay.
By
Well,
law.
No, but I feel like you got to protect the young.
I mean, there's one level to discuss
And
this.
innocent.
One is the way
They're not
that-
all innocent, though, are they?
They bribe politicians who put them in sexual innuendos and stuff, and then so they can bribe them. Oh, we'll tell your wife, or we'll put it in the bed or something. And every now and again, when there's a political thing happening, they'll often put a sex scandal out there,
Tell your wife.
so that so that a politician will lose the vote. They put a sex scandal out there. They always try to get.
Oh, like with
something
Bossy
on
Boots,
people.
absolute joke.
Like what?
Donald Trump, absolute joke. The
Yeah,
scandal.
but that was a joke.
Yeah.
That was ridiculous. We haven't got any proof of that. You
That-
see.
yeah.
But there are other ones where there probably is
I
true.
don't even know what the gossips are.
Yeah. So, I don't know, but I mean, beyond that level of political that we see in the newspapers, of political control by exposing people's seedy lives and so on, we don't want him running that. You know, they can do that. But there's another level which other people talk about, which I don't listen to much, and I always try and turn it off when it comes on, which is about this selling of children, which they're doing across from South America up into America. They're coming by the coachloads, and they've got these cartels, and they're literally selling children. And then the children are grown up, trained to be sex slaves and all this. And you know, a lot of them get abused, and I mean, it's just awful, really.
Yeah, so
The
we won't go
irony,
there too
the,
much.
but the irony of this,
Because we don't know.
the irony of this satanic abuse is they're promoting it with faith and religion, and it's the opposite to the faith and the religion. That's what's so baffling.
The main thing humans got to do is not be tricked by people talking bullshit.
For example, if you're marrying just for business, or you're marrying just to sell the story, and you do it with surrogacy, isn't that a risk to not feeling maternal enough with your you know if
Take a kid on.
yeah, if you force surrogacy on someone just to sell the story, you know, like you're expected to have children, surely you wouldn't feel so.
Yeah, well,
You wouldn't feel so.
adopting a kid should be a natural decision.
Yeah.
Voluntary.
But what
If something's not voluntary, then it's manipulation.
voluntary? You're right. Yeah. You mean if you've
Black magic.
manipulated someone to believe that they must do something they on their own wouldn't volunteer to do? Yeah.
But they could still raise the children nicely if they got into it.
Right. The risk is they.
If you're not resentful, then it's fine.
Yeah.
resent
So
it.
with what
Obviously, if you
I'm
do what
saying.
you want, you won't be resentful.
What I'm saying is, how do you know what you want if you've
Because
been
you haven't
manipulated
Well, you've
to
Well,
to?
exactly.
That's what I'm
Exactly.
You have to
manipulated that you're doing something religiously
You're easily
in an
constantly
immoral way.
manipulated. Yes, no, you wouldn't. No, you'd think it was.
Well,
You'd think you've got to do it, and it may if it's
That's why they derail people's moral compass when they're young.
yes, that's what I mean. If it's done with derailing the moral compass, how
Fuck someone's compass up. But if you've got a good compass, you can't be fucked with. Other than force. You know. But even
would
that,
you- would-
even that. you
what
can-
what's a
even
better
that-
word than compass?
No, that's exactly
truth
right. The
is-
moral compass, how to guide your way through life.
The
Which
ability
moral-
to
what's right
discern,
and
the
what's
ability to discern when someone's
Discern correct relationships,
manipulating
correct
you.
treatment.
The ability to discern when someone's not genuine and natural.
Yeah.
Ability
So
to
Well, the
when
ability to
someone
discern
is
that they're
not
being
healthy.
abused, maybe.
What's healthy for me? This
yeah,
is,
to
this is
to know what's
Legal
abuse
abuse.
and what's
Legal
manipulated abuse and what's your own
What
faith.
is fucking sacredly respecting?
Yeah, what's sacredly respectful? Yeah.
I'm going for a skate. That is.